I'm about to eat this baby right off the stalk. Hey, maybe wondering what I'm doing here. I'm poking holes in the ground with my stick for planting my fall crops. I'll show you how I'm putting my plugs into the ground here. I start by poking these holes into the ground, and then I will come along and add some fertilizer to them. I'm kind of spacing them 6 inches to 1 foot apart, but obviously not very exacting in how I'm doing this. That looks good. Time to fertilize. So what I'm doing here is just throwing fertilizer both in and around the planting holes. If I wasn't so lazy, I'd probably fertilize around the entire bed, rake it in a little bit, but I just don't want to. So I'm just doing spot fertilizing where I'm planting the, oops, got some wind there picking that up. I'm not very exacting with this, but what this is it is a combination of some fish poop and I didn't make the mix. It's from a place here in the Portland metro area called Concentrates. Been around for a very long time. They make all kinds of soil amendments and organic things for your gardens, and this has got fish poop in it. It's got rock dust for remineralizing your soil. I think it's got some alfalfa or other kinds of spent grain type stuff as a nitrogen source. It's got a little bit of feather meal in it and those kinds of things. So yeah, I'm not a big kind of fertilizer nerd in terms of all the things that go into fertilizer. I just get this is a complete organic fertilizer, so I get just a well-rounded complete organic fertilizer, and I use that. I think I think being a fertilizer nerd would be better, and if I were to do that, then what you see other people do is they kind of get the right fertilizers for the right kinds of crops. I haven't done that. I've been thinking about it maybe for next year, getting stuff that's better for fruiting, for like the peppers, for example. But I just haven't gotten that far into it. So I just use a complete organic fertilizer with where I'm planting, and something that is something that isn't gonna just burn the roots of what I put in there, kind of thing. And that's that. So what I'm doing over here is taking my fall starts out of the cell trays and putting them in a tray that I can then just easily plop them into the ground. My whole process is designed to keep me standing upright as long as possible and minimize the bending over time. And so what I get them all ready ahead of time. That way I'm not in the field pulling them out of the tray at the same time that I'm trying to put them in the ground, or pulling them out while I'm bending over, kind of thing. And this is a plant called the Ethiopian kale. And I've never grown it before. It's a type of kale, and I got the seeds from Territorial Seed. The other thing that I'm continuing here on is continuing on in the fall that I started in the spring and did through the summer, is planting everything everywhere. So what I'm doing here is I'm basically pulling from my buffet of plant starts here into this, just a couple from each category. This is some kale. I've got some cauliflowers over here. They're pretty small, so this being kind of the end of August, I don't know how well these are gonna grow on at this point, but I'll give it a shot. I've got some bok choy in there. I've got, of course, Brussels sprouts in there. Some other kinds of kale. One thing that has not turned out well for me, I was just checking my starts down in the basement earlier today, is lettuce. I don't know if my temps are just too high for germination, but the temperature down there was less than 70 degrees. It was between 65 and 70 during this last few weeks, and down in there anyway, it was between 65 and 70. It was hotter than that outside, but down in the basement it was between 65 and 70, and yeah, my romaine lettuce is not germinating. I don't know why. Maybe the seeds themselves I left out in the potting bench where it got too hot this summer or something, is one thing I'm postulating, because yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't germinate. They're getting tangled. Oh no, I just pulled them out of the pots. Yeah, I'm not being very nice to my starts here, but I've got a lot of them to get through here. So this is chard and this was in one cell here, but I'm just gonna pull them apart like that and plant them individually. Chard's pretty tough, so I think we'll get something good out of that. These are Brussels here. You can see the roots are screaming it's time to get out of here. I'm just going to sacrifice this little one. Keep the main one there. Let's see, what else do I want to pull for over there? This is a Chinese cabbage. It's going to be a red with a red hue to it. I've never grown it that before. I saw that in a seed catalog and thought, heck, I want to give that a try. So let's see. And then I've got broccoli. Lots of broccoli. Like, I need more broccoli. If you've been watching my other videos, broccoli's been my mainstay this season, but you know, I guess go with what works for you. This is a variety called Jacaranda, Jacaranda. Jacaranda. Yeah, I don't know how to say that, but okay, that's enough for now. I didn't do a precise count, so I'm gonna go see where that leaves me putting these in the ground, and then if I need more, feeling the tray in here is pretty dry, so I need to put some water in there, but that's wet. I just fill the bottoms of these trays with water to keep the plants moist. All right, well, let's head back over to the field and put these in the ground. So as I mentioned, I'm trying to minimize my bend over time, so I have my plants all ready to go here, and I'm just throwing them in. Scoop some soil and fertilizer around them, and we're off to the races. I'm not labeling what's going where here, because I'm just going to rely on my sense of knowledge of the plant as it grows, just looking at it and hopefully and knowing what it is, which is probably an iffy way to be doing it. Pull out some long grass while I'm there. Whoops. Some of these holes can get pretty deep. I drill them deeper than I intend to by accident sometimes. Okay. All right, well, that's what I'm doing in terms of planting starts into the ground. It's yeah, hope you find that informative to see my method. Throw down in the comments if you do something similar, or if you do something totally different, or maybe you see some modification I can make to what I'm doing that would make it easier or better. I'd love to hear your thoughts. I'll talk to y'all later.